Food, 1 through 5. I'm going to say each of these 5 vocabulary words in English, then Spanish, and clap. And I'd like you guys to repeat them with me, okay? Number 1, breakfast, desayuno. Breakfast, desayuno. Number 2, lunch, almuerzo. Lunch, almuerzo. Number 3, dinner, cena. Dinner, cena. Number 4, the sugar, el azucar. The sugar, el azucar. And number 5, the salt, la sal. The salt, la sal. Let's start with desayuno. Here's how I remember it when I was in high school. They say breakfast is one of your most important meals. See the word day? They say breakfast is one of your most important meals. So desayuno is breakfast. Also, actually, breakfast is the number 1 first meal that you eat every day. Lunch is almuerzo. Lunch is almuerzo. Now, I don't know about your cafeteria at your high school, but our high school, the lines are really long, and you don't have time for a big lunch. You just have time for a morsel. Everybody say that, a morsel. A morsel. A morsel is like a small amount, because by the time you get to the place where you pick your food out, your lunch is almost over. Also, another way to remember that almuerzo is lunch is Al always eats more lunch than everybody else, and that's why he's so big. See the word Al? Al always eats more lunch than everybody else, and that's why he's so big. So almuerzo is lunch. Lunch is almuerzo. Dinner is cena, okay? It sounds like, everybody say insana, insana. To me, it's cena sounds like insana. So visualize you come home from school or sports practice or whatever, and you sit down and your mom puts a bucket of sand on the dinner table in front of you and sticks a fork in it. And you look at the bucket of sand and you look at your mom and you say, what's up with this? What's up with a bucket of sand? And she says, well, it's your dinner. And you say, my dinner's a bucket of sand? Are you insane? Get it? My dinner's a bucket of sand with a fork in it? Are you insane? And that would be crazy to eat that for dinner. So dinner's cena. Now sugar is azucar. Notice it doesn't end in O or A, so you have to memorize that it's masculine. It's el azucar. Now, this is one of those words that I call a lizard word. Everybody say lizard. Lizard. Most Spanish words end in a vowel, an N, or an S. Okay? Now, in Spanish, if a word ends in L, Z, R, or D, we don't stress the next to last vowel. We stress the very last vowel. So I've got a clip, it's called lizard. If you just type in L-I-Z-A-R-D, you'll find it. But so if there were no accent mark, because this word ends in an R, and it's what I call a lizard word, you'd stress the very last vowel. You'd say azucar. But this accent mark means, hey, don't stress the vowel you expect to stress me. That's true for every accent mark. An accent mark says, hey, don't stress the vowel you expect to stress me. So it's azucar, sugar, azucar. And finally, salt. Salt is sal. There are literally a couple dozen words in Spanish that are just the English word with the last letter 2 chopped off. Example, everybody say or. Or, the Spanish word is o. Everybody say at. At. The Spanish word for at is a. And here it is again. Salt, all you do is chop off that last letter and it turns into sal. Also, other ways to remember salt. Everybody say saline solution. Saline solution. If you wear glasses or contacts, saline solution is what you put your contacts in, and it's a combination of salt and water. So, sal is salt. Let me cover up the Spanish here and give you time for a post-test. Go ahead and look at these 5 terms and say the Spanish equivalents out loud, or even better, look at these 5 terms and write the Spanish equivalent down on the piece of paper to make sure you know these 5 words. This has been Food 1 through 5.